Hi guys, how's it going? I'm gonna draw a kind of a scary, kind of very horrifying ghost, you know? So here we go. I'm gonna start with a face. I'm gonna draw very thin, wispy. When I want a lighter line, I push down less hard on my on my on my marker. Marker does have kind of a tip, but basically this is a magic marker. There's nothing really special about it. It's basically a Sharpie. I'm gonna draw it uneven. I'm gonna draw one eye kind of bulging out. The feel I want, if you were to think of adjectives, I want to make this uh, mildly horrifying. That's kind of the idea I'm going for. So I'm drawing small lines everywhere to indicate different plane changes. Oh, let's see. A thin nostril area there. I'm kind of just doing this unplanned as I go along. I didn't really plan anything out. Trying to see where this takes me. Putting little wispy lines to indicate maybe, kind of make it look meaty a little bit. So I'm going to draw the top of the head to not lose track that this is a ghost. Oh, drawing the top there. It's going sideways. Drawing all these little lines to kind of, just, for detail in general. Like it kind of looks like skin. I want it to kind of look like. I'm kind of thinking of that thin egg layer on Chinese food in my head. I don't know if that makes any sense. I want it to seem like it's a sheet, but it's also covering his skin, but it's also very slimy. I'm gonna draw his teeth pretty far apart and jaggedy. I think it looks pretty bizarre. I'll put that in there. And I'm gonna draw kind of a screwed up eye there. Let's see what shape I could get out of this, maybe. Maybe something interesting. Some kind of weird aberration. I'm trying to think of how can I make the old ghost I used to see in Casper, you know, but try to update him. Looks kind of like Oogie Boogie, to be honest, from that Nightmare Before Christmas. Trying to see if what I can add that's a little different. I want these to be his arms and this to be kind of the lower half. I'm not really sure what it's reading like right now. Sometimes I look back at it and I'm like, oh, it looks like 3 hands, or it just looks like a used napkin, which wouldn't be too bad if that's what it was. That's what it would look like. So I'm gonna try to think of what would be kind of weird, you know? What would be kind of like, if I saw it, it would freak me out. You know, maybe like putting his mouth somewhere else, something like that. I'm trying to think of what would be strange to maybe put in this area. Yeah, maybe another face or a heart. You know, just think of ideas like that. Generate odd ideas. I'm gonna put. Let's see. I'll put another eyeball down here. Doesn't make any particular sense, but sometimes that's what horror, certain horror designs are about. Just kind of freak you out a little bit. Just be like, what? Like, why? Or that happened? Maybe he has another soul trapped inside of him, or something like that. It's a little bit like a goatee. If we're gonna have it there, let me see. Yeah, that looks strange enough to be like, what? And so I'm doing all these little lines up here. It creates small details. So when you're doing that, you have to remember to have this area right here. There has to be a place of kind of concentrated little weird details. It's kind of like tension, and then there's a release. You have to most of the really good artists, like amazing artists I've seen, they'll do that. They'll put one place where it's concentrated, kind of tension area, and then it'll have a place of release, a simple kind of just a simple area where there's just not that much detail. This big wide area here. So tension, release. If there was tension everywhere, it'd be a little too much detail. But try to remember that for the future. So okay, this is kind of a weird, kind of odd ghost, you know, creation. So that's pretty much all I'm gonna do for this particular demo, and I'm gonna keep trying to do, you know, Halloween or horror-oriented things. Please request something weird, and I'll try to make it happen. So thanks. Please leave it on the bottom comments. Thanks a lot, guys, and subscribe.